Story Species Story Medicine, extra strength. Ready to take your medicine with Gina Casella?
Species of medicine, open for the task. Extra strength is everything you'd ever ask. Many with the soil, many with the sea. Earth is a medicine for you and for me. Scrubbing out the tarnish, building up the trust. Honest little tales, rising from the rust. The truth is in the living, truth is in skin. Open up the portal, let the healing in. Extra strength, extra soul. Medicine to make us whole. Feel the rhythm, feel the pace. In every single space. Are you ready for the cure? Keep it steady, keep it pure. Extra strength.
Hey, Dragon Dreamers, Gina Casella here. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me today on Story Species, Story Medicine. Today, what I'm doing is promoting Story Species, Story Medicine. So if you would like to be the presenter at one of my conferences, or if you wanted to share your story medicine right here on Tuesdays, I would absolutely love for you to do that. Simultaneously checking my phone here to make sure that you can hear me okay. It seems like I'm going live. Yep, everything is in effect. Okay. So February is always at hand. Hopefully it's not getting the best of you. I know I'm not letting it get the best of me. So let me just put a little comment here in the chat, because as soon as I screen share, I won't be able to see the chat, and I don't want you to feel ignored. So here's my Buy Me a Coffee. So simultaneously, while I'm chatting away and presenting, if you want to check out more information about me, you can. And let me just put this little note here. I won't be able to see the chat until my presentation is over. Please put questions here. All right, so I was hoping to type that in before I actually went live with you. So I got a nice PowerPoint ready to rock and roll. Let me just pull it up here on my screen. So for the rest of 2026, I'm available every Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 1:30 Eastern, to go live. And Tuesdays, that day is designated to engage in Story Species, Story Medicine with you, extra strength. And then also, I go live on Wednesdays to promote myself. It's very informal, laid back hangout. Today's Feel actually has more of that hangout. So something else to know is that if you would like to host me on your show, Wednesday is the day to do that. And that's what this presentation is all about. So it brings me great joy. Just double checking my cell phone here. Okay, I feel like things are back on track. Let me know how things are going there. Okay. You know, everything with technology seems fine. And then once your speakers and microphones, let me know in the chat if you can relate. I was doing a live call the other day, and when I went to participate, my voice was so low, people could barely hear me. And then I couldn't hear the people. So I put my question in the chat, but then I couldn't hear the man giving me the answer. So, ugh. Anyways, that's what I love about our Soul Tribe Collective, the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective, because we support each other even during these moments where we have hiccups. So I'm noticing that my screen share isn't sharing right now live. So I'm really glad I'm double checking here. Okay, there it is. Thank you everybody for being patient. Okay, here it is. So if you have any questions, hopefully I'll answer them. So just hang tight. And if I don't answer them, please put them in the chat. And okay, I feel like I'm in business here now. All right, I do work hard behind the scenes to be ready to rock and roll. So, okay, so Project 30, ISIS Unity Consciousness. What is that, right? Project 30 ISIS Unity Consciousness is basically an umbrella term. So all my content is merging together, my books, the Oracle, my Tuesday show, hanging out with you live on Wednesday, me being live right now promoting is part of Project 30 ISIS Unity Consciousness. And so there's 30 of us, and we're all supposed to come together. We're supposed to come together to host conferences, all in the name of the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective. So welcome to our community co-dreaming ecosystem. We've always got lots to look forward to. I'm making movies, by the way, as well, based on all of this. And all of this is based on dreams, half remembered, half misunderstood. So I love being the village idiot. I used to be really shy about that. I wasn't even aware it was called village idiot. I think I was confusing that with the fool, perhaps. But anyways, the village idiot definitely needs to be a card in the tarot deck because the village idiot knows stuff, but the village idiot doesn't exactly know how they know. And the village idiot can't exactly explain stuff to you. The village idiot just basically says stuff that stirs you inside, and you know exactly what the village idiot means. And so I do all kinds of things, gemstone readings, I offer services, energy medicine, transformational healing. And this fall, actually, I'm going to be offering an additional bonus to the membership Project 30 ISIS Unity Consciousness. And so, like I said, there's always lots to look forward to. And I'm not afraid to shine my light anymore. That's the point I wanted to make. I know that there's a lot of folks out there who are just like me. You've had all kinds of interesting experiences your whole life, things you can't explain. Some of those things may have felt very natural, supportive. Some of those things might have completely terrified you. And I know what it's like to experience both of those experiences, to experience experiences that make me feel warm and fuzzy, that are just very natural, just like me chatting with you right now feels very natural. But there's some stories that I have that genuinely make me feel uncomfortable. And there's one story in particular based on a real nightmare that I had called Lushing, and that is featured in book 8, Scary Dreams. And it was the first movie that I made, actually. So we're a story species, and stories are our medicine. So if you didn't know, when you share a story, you're sharing medicine. And when you receive a story, you're receiving medicine. And yes, the power is in simplicity. It really is that simple. So whether the medicine story sharing applies to you or not, it's something that you just put in your toolkit, save for later. Maybe you'll change that story a bit because somebody else might need to hear that story, and you alter it. You shift and the medicine, you alchemize it to the way that is appropriate for you. So it's okay if stories change because that's part of the power of the story medicine. Stories can even be completely fictional, fake stories. So I'm aiming for real stories, however, even if you can't explain them. I don't investigate any of my guests. If somebody was a guest on my show and on their deathbed was like, hey, Gina, 20 years ago I was on your show and it was just a big joke, haha, joke's on you. Like, I don't even care about that because for what it's worth, I feel like most people have better things to do with their time than that kind of stuff. And the people who I've had on my show and who have presented for me are very genuinely, authentically desiring to further their healing journey as they transform trauma into treasure. And part of that is sharing their transformation, their journey with others. And so it's quite the healing experience. You don't, when you're a guest on my show or if you're speaking at my conference, you're not just providing healing through your story medicine. You default to receiving healing through the medicine of others bearing witness to you. So it's very powerful. Stories are medicine, and we're a story species. So our logical mind demands a beginning, a middle, and an end. We require things like themes and symbols, archetypes, anything that has to do with stories or movies, that appeals to us greatly because that's exactly the template, if you will, that our conscious mind can work with to receive information from the subconscious. So I always explain it like there's all these shoe boxes. In truth, we don't want any shoe boxes because the moment we have one box, doesn't matter if it's a shoe box or whatever kind of box, but if you have one box, then you start to commit to ideas and you start to narrow your focus, which is helpful, but then you also start to become closed-minded. So you want to find balance with this, categorizing your information. And I've really moved well beyond categories. And so you might hear me have a conversation with somebody about Pleiadians, and you might think, yep, that's exactly my thoughts, feelings, opinions, understanding about Pleiadians. And then you might hear me have a conversation with somebody else talking about Pleiadians, and you might listen to that conversation and think, what? That's not Pleiadians. Who are you talking about? And it's like, you know what? I believe you believe, and I'm not getting hung up on categories. I feel like a lot of folks out there are hung up on, like, maybe 5 or 7 ET groups. There's so much more out there. And it's not just ETs, it's our dreams, our spirit guides, our ways of knowing. So I'm very passionate about this, and I understand a lot of folks in our community get mocked for sharing their story medicine. And I always say this, the Salem witch trials were really not that long ago, and we're still very much living in the medieval ages. So if you're listening to this and anything that I'm saying is resonating with you, then it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence you're hearing this right now, even if you're catching the replay. This call out is for the dragons, the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective. We get you. Yes, you. We get you for all the reasons I'm talking about, and you are not alone. You're not losing your mind. You're enough. Things are available to you. There's nothing wrong or different about you, but I guarantee you probably feel that way because you're around a community, or you might even lack a community entirely who supports you and or that is in alignment, right relationship with you. So even though the Dragon Room Soul Tribe Collective, our story medicines greatly vary, and there's quite the mix match of story medicines out there, we still get each other. And despite our differences, our co-dream ecosystem and awakening into that system and this business of taking charge of our lives, because the Akashic records are not a permanent record. And so you can change your codes. You can change your programming. I know all about the rules of the mind and how they work. They're quite frustrating, but once you learn about them, you can work with them. So we call this living consciously. And this is where we unite. United are we, Isis, unity consciousness. And Project 30, everything that I'm talking about, Project 30, Isis, unity consciousness, that's your umbrella term. So this is just reiterating everything that we talk about. We talk about everything from secret space programs, ET agenda, reliable, sustainable resources, Darwinism to Lamarckism, talk about things like who even are the dragons, different star nations, what does it mean to be multidimensional? Folks out there do controlled remote viewing. There's lots of different kinds of remote viewing, so we get into that. We get into all kinds of things. So this is a really great way to connect. And we also talk about solutions, about like water and food resources. And so the root and heart of everything that I do is focused on spiritual experiences, interesting dreams, esoteric type stuff, but it's also about the ancient future and the power of the now. And so making the world a better place in so many words, and moving away from such permanency, like our permanent structures that we're so hooked on, and shifting to more temporary structures because it's better for the environment, that kind of stuff. And that kind of stuff leads into all of these topics: sovereignty, sanctuary, Pachamama, Mother Earth, the power animals, what it means to be a steward of the earth. And so if you're listening to this and you're like, well, I don't have any spiritual experiences, but I work with water and water is obviously important, then that's story medicine that very much fits in here. Okay. So you're not alone. Who am I? Gina Virginia Casella, the dragon visionary behind it all. In my old matrix, I was a public school teacher. I don't do that anymore. I still would like to facilitate and develop courses of my own. So I'm carrying those high quality items with me now through this new matrix. And I do transformational services. You can check out my website for more information. So every month, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I go live. We've also got our conferences happening seasonally. These are also highlighted, some of these main slides in the free Facebook group, the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective. They're pinned featured items. So Promise of Spring, that was a huge success. Summer Days, another huge success. Dragon Destiny, it was too last minute. It ended up being canceled. Falling Consciously is the next one, and that's my focus now. I require dragon speakers for Falling Consciously and Season of Dreams. And if you want to be a presenter, a speaker, then ideally you would also be on my Tuesday show. So I'm going to get into those slides very soon. Wednesdays, live hangout. These slides here just reiterating some stuff that I've already said. The Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective, we're the master scribes of our Akashic records. That is our birthright to be. So you're bound to nothing, even if you wanted to be. The past is gone and you were never bound to anything. I'll say it again, even if you wanted to be, you're bound to nothing. All of us, including myself, a lot more powerful than we could ever imagine. So my mission is creating safer spaces to share our story medicine. And, you know, those two angels that came out of my wall, I share that story a lot. But for what it's worth, it's only the last handful of years that I've really been sharing it. And sharing it only like the last year or two without crying or my teeth chattering. So I know exactly, like, these aren't just like regular stories that you're reiterating. And I greatly appreciate the humility and level of integrity of anyone who shares their story medicine. And you know what, admitting to things like evil spirits, ghosts, shadows, bumps in the night, all of that stuff is true. Talking about things like Sasquatch, that's true. Vampires, that's true. So we need to stop acting like it's not true. And again, we need to find balance with categories and language, because Sasquatch, vampires, there's different kinds. So I do enjoy taking deep dives, but for the sake of this story medicine, my focus is treading the water, creating safer spaces, letting people share. And you know what? On your own, you can take deep dives with each other, right? I'm all about the deep dives, but when I'm hosting the show, um, you're the focus, not me. You're the focus, and your story medicine is. And if you're shy, if you never, or maybe you're not shy, maybe you're just, you've never been a guest before on a show. Like, I'm always full of questions. You never have to worry about awkward moments with me. And I really enjoy listening to the behind the scenes as well, and anything. So as I said, we're a story species, and stories is our medicine. Each and every single one of us, a piece of land, a Pachamama, Mother Earth, in our own right, walking, talking trees. We are beaver dams. We have the power to filter emotions. There's lots to say about stories and how we're a story species. And I want you to know that all of these experiences, we call them paranormal, but for what it's worth, the paranormal is very normal. The supernatural is very natural. There's absolutely nothing strange about high strangeness other than we think that it's strange. Are there concerns and ethical issues? Yes. But all of this is everyday life, just like anything else. And so weird is the new normal. Okay. So from Bigfoot stories to Virgin Mary, like, we talk about it all, and I take it all in. And we get made fun of a lot. So I know exactly what it's like to be the confused warrior, to transition into the wisdom keeper, and to finally become the medicine bearer. And it's the medicine bearers that I'm calling out to. So a medicine bearer is somebody who shares their story. So this is my little thumbnail that I have, the poster for my show. And at the end of the year, I'm going to summarize all the shows and put it in a book, a nice little souvenir that you can have about the medicine bearers. So if you would like to be a show, this is a show. If you would like to be a guest on my show, this is the important slide here. Send me an email. Gina Virginia Casella at gmail.com, and let me know your real name or your consistent alternate name. So, like, when somebody calls you that name, everybody knows you by that name. Okay. I also need a picture of your real face. Those two things are paramount, because the whole point is being a medicine bearer is somebody who is using their real name, showing their real face, and saying, like, this is my name, this is my face, this is my story. That's the power of being a medicine bearer. That's what's going to help other dragon dreamers share their story, receive medicine, and also share the medicine. Okay? We can't have people on the show who have, like, a teddy bear picture in lieu of their face, or a fake name, or like a voice change. I didn't put it on here, but I need to hear your real voice as well. Okay? This is really important. So I also ask people who are going to be on my show Tuesdays, Story Species, Story Medicine, for a biography, half a page max, and one link. So if you've got a website, that's really great. There's a lot of amateurs out there. My friendly suggestion is take advantage of YouTube, because YouTube in the About section has maybe like 8, 10, or 12 links where you can put other places to find your stuff. So if you don't have a website, that's an option. And let us know in the comments how you're navigating the waters as a business entrepreneur or a spiritual biz entrepreneur like myself. I also ask for one image specific to your story medicine. So if you wrote a book, send me the cover of that. If you dance, for example, maybe you don't use words to tell your story. Maybe you have dance moves to tell your story. You do interpretive dancing, or you're an artist, you paint or you sculpt. Send me a picture of that. Okay? If you are a writer or a poet of some kind, it would be really cool if you sent me about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes of text that I can read live. And it would be cool if you read too, but it's not necessary. And of course, please consider being a dragon speaker at one of the Story Species, Story Medicine Continuum of Conscious Evolution conference series. So there's 4 a year, possibly 5 with the summer. And I'd like to start plugging people in now. Next week is going to be a replay. And then the week after that, I want it to be every Tuesday, dragons who are going to be at my conference. So now this part here of my mission gets into the conferences. So we had phenomenal feedback about both conferences. We were aiming for the stars, and we were determined to set precedents. So my conferences have a good reputation, and I have a good reputation for being organized and behind the scenes leading up to the presentation, very organized, keeping the dragon presenters organized and having a schedule. The actual conference day, we got lots of compliments about the overall structure and flow, the schedule being honored, the agenda, the integrity of the speakers. And on that note, if you haven't had a chance to post a review yet, it's best to do that on my professional Facebook page. You'll see the review tab there. So like I said, typically folks who are on my Tuesday show become speakers at my conference. So if you'd like to be a speaker at my conference, again, please send me an email, ginavirginiacasella@gmail.com, a picture of your real name or consistent alternate name, your biography, half a page max, one link, a picture of your real face, and submit the above points to me through that email. You can let me know your presentation title, presentation description, a special message about hopes and dreams. And I like to have this all 3 weeks before the conference. You don't have to have your presentation completely figured out or anything, but this kind of stuff I require because behind the scenes, I need to create some posters, thumbnails, and start marketing you, making sure that people know that you're going to be a speaker. So it's like really exciting. What I require from you as well is to, on the actual presentation day, present a live 35-minute presentation and to be available for 15 minutes of Q&As. Before the conference day, I also ask presenters to submit a pre-recorded video presenting their presentation. That way, in case we have tech issues, we really don't have time to help you out. Like, you've got a few minutes to figure out what's going on, and then I'm going to play your video. So the backup video is really great in case tech issues and also for readiness to speak. Getting that video to me has consistently been a mix of emotions for most of the speakers, because it's kind of like the final hurrah, if you will, where they're pushed to really finally wrap up facing all those shadows, put their presentation in a way that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, where they can present it. It's concise, it's very focused, and presenters, the feedback that I've been given, they find this to be very emotional. Some of them emotional turmoil. They go through the motions. Some of them admitted they don't even like going through this process, but every single one of them ended up admitting that this process was very necessary in terms of presentation readiness. And then just that feeling of feeling like $1,000,000, you know, your presentation is check off list, it's ready, you're nice and ready. And just like anything, when you're presenting, you always want to be ready at least a week before. So the whole entire week before the presentation day, you're just relaxing. Your biggest concern is what snacks you're going to have, right? Those are my kind of problems. Like, you know, am I going to have an apple or an orange? That's my kind of problem that I want to be dealing with a week before the presentation dates, right? So I also feel like most presenters, a lot of presenters are amateur. They don't have a lot of experience in this kind of formal setting. they've have lots of experience, some of them going on shows and chit-chatting away, but creating a PowerPoint or having an opportunity to have a platform like this, it's not something that they've done. And so the energy changes, if you will. And everybody always admits that they're really glad that um, their pre-recorded video was not their actual presentation. It was like a reality check that most of the presenters re-record their pre-recorded videos multiple times. So um, I, I I know it's a lot to ask. The value in the pre-recorded video, for my sake, is simply so I have a backup in case your presentation, you have tech issues on the big day. But this pre-recorded video business behind the scenes has turned into this really beautiful conversation that's going on. And so I wanted you to be aware of that in case you were like, I don't know, pre-recorded video, but now you know the benefits of it, which weren't even intended. It was just to, general readiness. Okay, so let's move on here. Um, what else I want to tell you? Okay, so this is optional. Everything I've said so far is mandatory, but this is optional. 1 week before the conference, there's a live tech rehearse. The whole entire public is invited. Ironically, a lot of people catch the tech rehearsal replay, which I find is interesting. And you don't present at all. We don't take questions from the audience. Our focus is if you would like an opportunity to go live, pull up your stuff, make sure your things work, maybe on a sticky note, write down what your speaker setting is at because you know that works. This is your opportunity. Some people, they've been there, done that. They really don't need to be at the live tech rehearsal, yet they desire to be there because it's community connection, right? And usually people are just on there quick. In advance, I require you to submit to me your slides and stuff like that too. And I pull it up and then you practice telling me next and I hit next. And if you want to go back a slide, you can say, oh, Gina, go back a slide and I'll practice going back a slide for you. If you want to be in charge of hitting the next, you can do that. But sometimes with tech issues, there's hiccups. And so this is the value in the tech rehearsal. That way on the big day, you're nice and ready. I know I always personally benefit from a tech rehearsal. So something funny just to share randomly was Brian Rue was my presenter at the first Dragon Dreams conference, Promise of Spring. And if you need Brian to do something for you, you can count on Brian to do a good job, right? So Brian very studiously worked on his video pre-recorded presentation so much that he didn't want to present live anymore. He wanted me to play his pre-recorded video. Geez, this really backfired on me. So you're not allowed to play your pre-recorded video. I want you to present live. And then Brian thankfully was willing to present live. And after the conferences, I made all the conference available, and I took the time behind the scenes to edit the day. So if you just wanted to watch Brian, you could. But Brian also posted his pre-recorded video after the conference. So if you're like Brian and you like your pre-recorded video so much, just please wait until after the conference to post yours. And that always brings a smile to my face when I think about that story. I wasn't expecting that. I go like this because I grew up holding a phone, right? But it's like, I like my pre-recorded better. I want to do that on the big day. And it's like, what? No way, man. You're presenting live. So another option is the live hangout. So I hang out the day before and the day after the conference. The day before, I don't invite you to hang out live with me because there's that special anticipation of the theater. You know, all the folks involved in the theater, they're tucked away and you don't see them until the big day. And even on the big day, you don't see them walking around and stuff like that. You only see them when it's like their turn to shine their light. So I don't invite you to hang out with me for the pre-conference hangout. It's just me, and I do promote you. I go over the whole conference day and whatnot, and then the day after the conference, if you're available, it's really cool to come and hang out and to help us keep on track. We go through the whole conference opening ceremony, journeying into Pine Tree Forest, the first dragon speaker, the breaks. So it keeps us nice in alignment. And if you can't make it, you can't make it. So this bottom one is really important too. Ideally, dragon speakers would aim to be a guest on Story Species, Story Medicine, Extra Strength before the conference date. So I don't have money to pay you. This is all driven by the greater currency of the heart. Even if I was there in my journey to pay you, I'm not comfortable doing that. I believe in the energy exchange. Something I'm comfortable with eventually is paying for things like room and board, paying for things like airfare, paying for things like dinner. But none of that is in effect right now. So, right now, if you are a dragon speaker, you receive a full 45-minute gemstone reading. It's a one of a kind creation of my own making. And we do this before the conference. I create a little conference Bible and I send you this information, and there's lots of dates for you to choose from. So I don't like to overwhelm people, but I do like to give people as much information as I can in advance because I know myself personally. I always like to plan ahead, like 1, 2, 3 months if I can, even 2 years if I can. And I know lots of folks out there have schedules they got to balance. So the sooner you reach out to me, the better. Okay. I also offer a full monthly membership to Project 30 Isis Unity Consciousness. There's some bonuses in there that are pretty sweet. One of the bonuses is receiving the free link to my online conferences. So if I'm offering an online conference and you're part of Project 30, well, you'll never have to buy another online conference link. So that's huge savings right there. And after the conference, I'm going to provide you with a video download of your presentation. This is just a souvenir for you, and you'll be highlighted on my social media. But if you wanted to upload this onto your social media, you can, but please don't charge for it, given the integrity of the conference and the fact that it's something that you already did. Anyways, it's just there's interesting conversations going on that aren't in right relationship with me, to be honest. So I'm looking for people who are in right relationship. I charge nothing for Promise of Spring. The first one was free. Promise of Spring will always be free. It's predicted in my book series, Promise of Spring will someday generate the most amount of money because everybody just wants to get in on it and support a good thing. So that's what I'm aiming for, this business of the currency of the heart and the greater hummingbird residing within all of us. So I charge very affordable rates for the conference. They're all day, pretty much 8:30 till 6 p.m. We keep you engaged the whole entire time through. And so where does the money go? Well, the money goes into my pocket. I'm the administrator, the overhead. So it helps to provide me with the personal time to connect with people behind the scenes, to create PowerPoints like this. People who don't have the experience, they don't realize, but you know, all those posters on the side, I had to create that. Sure, there were learning curves, but this is my new matrix. And so as an administrator, anytime I make money, it's really great because we all benefit. This is the power of running a spiritual biz. Everything I do is just funnels right back into you. And I mentioned it earlier, but just, you know what, when you follow me, you get in on stuff. And something that you can get in on is right now I'm preparing for the fall. And if you're a member of Project 30, I'll be adding another bonus in there because I'm going to be providing lots of videos and whatnot for you. And I thought about creating a membership, but I feel like the people I really need to reach can't afford to join some big fancy membership. And a lot of us are having a hard time with balance. And so the way I'm rolling these days is if you belong to Project 30, then anything that I offer, not anything, but a lot of like the little smaller stuff that I offer, basically goes as a bonus. So if you belong to the membership Project 30, you get to meet with me live, just Project 30 people, nobody else, that kind of stuff. And we can talk about things. So check out those bonuses. And a big thank you to those who helped to make Promise of Spring happen. This presentation, this slideshow, it's pretty much over now. But it's my master slideshow if you're curious. I have everything in here. Sometimes I spend more times on slides, less slides on slides. There's some really great opportunities right now too. Like, oh, where's my picture here? Oh, there it is. Okay, so we have Falling Consciously. Come on. There it is. Falling Consciously. So this is the one. I'm looking for Dragon presenters for September 19th. And ideally, starting in Tuesday, the 28th, I would like to plug people in consistently Tuesday on Story Species, Story Medicine. Story Species, Story Medicine, that's the Tuesday show. It's very informal. It's just us hanging out, chit-chatting. This here, Falling Consciously, this is the one where you would prepare a presentation. It's a lot of information to take in. I understand that. The one after that is going to be Saturday, December 12th. So if you're like, oh, I want you to plug my name in for December 12th, Gina, like send me an email, but just let me get over the fall conference first. All right, this one here. If you would like to host me on your show, send me an email, ginavirginiacasella@gmail.com. I've always got plenty to talk about. It's easy for me to go off on in other directions. I'm the kind of person I have to tell multiple stories, and then I need to tell a story about how they come together. So just to help keep us all organized, here I've highlighted some themes, and basically pick one and we can focus on one of these things. You can ask me Q&As that have to do with any of this. Maybe you just want me to read certain pages from my book series or to talk about a certain oracle cards. I can do that. I love talking about how to make floras and elixirs. So I'm very open. Even if you wanted me to talk about the two angels, or maybe you wanted me to be on your show as like an observer, maybe to help create a level of comfort. Maybe it would help some folks in your audience feel better just knowing that somebody like me was around. And I would love to present as well, if anybody out there, if you're doing what I'm doing, if you're hosting conferences, I would be happy to provide a live mind reprogramming demonstration. I'm happy to present on any of these aforementioned topics. And of course, I would love to be a vendor. Something that I would absolutely do is my one-of-a-kind gemstone readings. Oh, there's always lots to look forward to, too much to look forward to, really. So you know what my mission is? I'm here to create safer spaces and There we go. My slideshow here is, all right. This picture here, the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective, this is my popular logo picture here that I use. So you can find this picture on my YouTube, part of the Facebook group. And I sincerely would like to thank you all for sharing your story medicine. I'd like to thank you in advance for sharing your story medicine, because I know some of you listening to this, you're like sending me an email simultaneously. And I really want to thank you for courageously dreaming with us, because yeah, it's exciting, but you know what? It's not easy. And living consciously to die consciously, staying focused, doing your spirit work, all of it is worth it. So a new bonus in Project 30 Isis Unity Consciousness, you have to be a member in order to get this bonus. If you want to make some money, you can become a dragon endorser. So what does that mean? Endorsers, basically, you're always promoting the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective. You're promoting me. You hold us in the highest light. You say nice things about us. But more specifically, I'm selling conference links. If you can sell a conference link, then you'll make money. So, for example, if somebody saves $10 because they use your special promo code, then you get $10, right? So if you sell 100, right, that's $1,000 that you get. So this is something, it's an incentive, because I know lots of people, it's easy to share on your social media. Some people don't even use social media. They're very word of mouth. Organic marketing is the best kind. It doesn't matter to me how you sell the links. It just matters that the word gets out there of our community, and that dragons know they're not alone, that they have a soul tribe that awaits them. I have ample free content. If they would like to take it a step further and get in on the membership themselves, they can. They could become a dragon endorser as well. So I didn't want this opportunity to be just for anybody. So this would be very helpful to get the word around about who we are and my mission, everything that I'm talking about. Project 30 Isis Unity Consciousness, my umbrella term. And this is the end of my presentation. So let me just take it off screen share here. All right. So I can see there's a few of you tuning in live with me. Thank you for listening to all of that. If anybody has any questions about anything that I said, I know it was a lot of information to take in, but I'm here, I'm available. I will also be available tomorrow, Wednesday, same time, 1:30, and I'll be going over the same information. Usually I don't do that. Today's a special story species, story medicine. At some point I gotta promote, right? So everybody has a story. Everybody has some kind of ghost story, Bigfoot story, some kind of nightmare story, some kind of dream where you know that that wasn't a dream, right? You know, everybody has a story where you were out wherever you were and you saw an animal and wait a minute, that animal's looking at you weird. That animal is like, there's something people about it, you know. We all have stories like that, and we all have stories that are worth sharing. And you know what? You're worth it. You're worth it. You really are. You have the community. If you're not already part of the community, you know, if you're tuning in live with me right now, say hi in the chat. Let me know your name. Let me know, are you part of the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective? You know, it's absolutely free to follow me on Buy Me a Coffee. So I put my link there, but I'll put it there again. If you want to donate money, join my memberships, hey, that's great. But if you just want to follow me, so you default to getting in on the emails, then right here, right now, go to my Buy Me a Coffee and do that. I make a post almost every day. So today I put a post out letting folks know I'd be live talking about this. So yeah, so if you have any questions that you would like to ask me, I absolutely would love to answer them. Once we start talking, really slip into timelessness. My YouTube, while you're at it, hit the subscribe button, turn the notifications on. That's a great way to stay connected with me. I don't see any comments coming through. Sounds like there's a little bit of a delay here, but it's 2:20. I'll wait till 2:30, okay, to sign off. So maybe you need some time to type something up. That's okay with me. One thing that I really like about my Buy Me a Coffee is it's easy to backtrack my posts. I keep my information updated so you don't have to like go back to find whatever it is you wanted to find. But if you were curious, if you never visited my Buy Me a Coffee before, then it's nice because you just click on posts and at glance you can see things that I've been posting. And the Dog Monkey folk, this card from the Dragon Dreams Oracle has been coming up a lot 2025. And so I wonder if anybody out there got in on the new moon wisdom reading. Why don't I show you that right now quickly? And those of you who are not familiar with my Buy Me a Coffee, maybe like a month or so ago, people in the comments were commenting that it felt good to comment and that they had seen me here and on other shows, but they didn't feel comfortable commenting or even saying hi. They just, that wasn't their cup of tea. And so that was the conversation, was actually saying hi in the chat. Everybody is somewhere on their journey, right? So it's not always about being shy. Sometimes it's just about uh, doing it. You don't know the protocol. In the comments, if you wanted to leave a comment even years from now, I always love to receive them. So I'm just putting it on screen share here. Okay, and just let me add this to the stage. Okay, you should be able to see that. So this is my Buy Me a Coffee. If you go to memberships, this is where you can get in on the Project 30 Isis Unity Consciousness. At this time, it's $30 a month. When prices go up, they always stay the same for current paying members. This used to be called, I think it was initially called Dragon Dreams, and it was $5. Now it's $30. It will be going up. I'm not sure exactly when, but if you're a current paying member, then whatever you're paying, that's what you always pay. So here's the bonuses that I was talking about. So you get free online links to my conferences. The summer one, or if they're, a hybrid conference, part of it's online, part of it's in person, you get the online part free. And like I said, I'm going to be creating special videos and stuff like that, which will be added here as a bonus. All these other memberships, this is my energy medicine practitioner work that I do. So all of these all say the same thing. What to look out for is up here, 502, 511. That's to help me keep organized. I use numbers instead of your name just to help out with privacy. And what you want to check here is each one has different dates and it tells you the time. So if you wanted to join this membership for a month or two, or if you want to stay right up until, the end of December, if you want to continue into 2006, I'll probably add, 2027. I'll probably add 2027 dates in November. So again, if you just stay in there, then the price remains. But anyways, what I really wanted to show you was the post here. So if you go to post, this is where I post. And everything that I post gets emailed out to those who follow me. Some stuff only goes out to folks who are part of Project 30 ISIS Unity Consciousness. And you can see here there's 53 pages, more than 53 pages maybe, of everything that I posted. But like I said, I keep my content pretty to date and fresh. So this was the one that went out today. Usually I only post once a day, but sometimes I'll post multiple depending what's going on. But this here, the one posted July 12th, 2026, it's the new moon today. So happy new moon to you. And Project 30 members only received this email, so only they can open it. But then this one here, my new moon flora, I think because it's the heat, not a lot of Project 30 members watched it. Only one person watched my video. But this went out to the public, information about the flora that I made. There's Rosie with a basil leaf on her head. I had flowers around her too, but then she got up and walked away. There's the flora that I made. I still got it here. So this is all my story medicine. There's my flora. I put a funnel on top just to let it breathe a little bit. It's not like a kombucha where you need to burp it or anything, but you don't want a closed tight lid on it. You want it to be able to breathe. But the whole point is this here. This was the only those who were part of Project 30 got this. So they got the picture, and then here's the video here that tells you about it. And the only reason I made this available to everybody is because I think some of the Project 30 members are just too hot and they didn't look at that. And I thought maybe I need to put it out there again and make it public. So every now and then, if you're following me, you get to have stuff that you shouldn't technically be getting, is the point I wanted to make. So, oh, why did that stop screen sharing? Well, it's just about 2:30. If anybody has any questions for me, you got just a few minutes left to ask them. But my Buy Me a Coffee website, there's also the shop, and that's where you can find your discount code. Maybe you want me to show you? I'll show you. Okay. So here we are. Let me pull it up to the stage. There's my Buy Me a Coffee. Okay. Gallery, if you're interested, that's pictures. I don't post too much here. The gallery is literally pictures, and there's like one little link. This one here, if you wanted to be the dragon endorser, you can get a link to the Project 30 membership, and then there's a link here, and it's me explaining, like, you know, if you sell a link and somebody saves $10, then you make $10. So if you sell 2 links, then you make $20. If you sell 3 links, you make $30. If you sell 100 links, you make $1,000. So you click on shop. This is my BMAC shop. BMAC stands for Buy Me a Coffee. And you can get the free replay of Promise of Spring and Summer Days right here. You can get the free replay. It's not a replay, excuse me. You can get the free Word document on Scary Dreams from book 8. And and sorry, I'm having a brain fart moment here. I wrote a short story called Scary Looshing, and it's in the book scary dreams from the Dragon Dreams book series, and that is free to you. So this will redirect you to my Facebook group. You can also find that story there. It's absolutely free, and these two, you can find them in my YouTube. There's a special playlist called The Conferences. If you'd like to purchase a ticket for Falling Consciously, $60 Canadian, you click it. I don't know who the presenters are yet, but I know it's going to be a fantastic day. So this will be updated. If you wanted to make purchase, you just purchase it. Right now, I have a promo code, G Casella. So if you type in G Casella, you can save $10. This one here, Season of Dreams, it's also $60. And if you use my promo code, G Casella, then you can save some money. All right. I don't think there's anything else I want to show you there. Nice hanging out with you live today. Thank you for hanging out with me live. The mini movie medicine, Lu Xing, you can find that in the playlist as well. It's about 4 minutes. And again, if you would like to be a speaker at the conference, the next one is September, and ideally you would be a guest right here on Tuesdays, 1:30 Eastern, for Story Species, Story Medicine, Extra Strength. And if you feel overwhelmed, I know it was a lot to take in. So if you're watching this and you're like, I'm interested, but I'm overwhelmed, like, just send me an email and tell me that, okay? Because I'm going to update the conference Bible, which is a lot more organized and less pages. And I can send you that information, okay? It's also the information, if you go to my Facebook group, the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective, it's a free Facebook group. In the pinned featured items, one of the pinned items has information. Some of the slides that I highlighted today are on there. So days like today, Story Species, Story Medicine, Extra Strength, nothing is formal, very laid back. I'm always full of questions. The show goes for about an hour and a half-ish or 2 at the most. And it's a really nice time for you to showcase your work, your story medicine. And if you wanted to make a presentation, you could, but you don't have to. This is just informal chit-chat, sharing story medicine. But the conference, that's formal. That's the one where you need to submit the pre-recorded video. So if you haven't watched the conferences yet, enjoy them. You know, we're experiencing a heat wave right now. Even in the shade, it seems too hot. I'm going to go outside for a little bit there, see how long I can stand it. I'm going to bed earlier these days, which is working out for me because it's just too hot later on. It's cooler in the mornings. I leave my best wisdom in the dark in the wee morning hours. So let me know about you. The full moon is a time of rest. It's that time of the snake energy where we shed our skin and we can feel vulnerable. And that snake skin and this business of the womb and tomb, those are all simultaneous places. So I wish you all a fantastic day. I got a little video promo here as in my outro video. It tells you a little bit more about me. We've got a lot of new dragons. So thank you so much to those of you who have been with me since 2021 when I first started doing this. And then, of course, those of you who've been following me along personally before that, I really appreciate it. If anybody out there wanted to make a suggestion, I'm always open. But I feel like this is a nice little routine, coming on here Tuesdays for Story Species, Story Medicine, and then Wednesday is more of a live hangout. I thought about doing like a special promotion day, but this is where your feedback could be helpful. Instead of me promoting a promotion day, I feel like promoting every Wednesday live and having that as an opportunity for you to even host me on your show, that would be fantastic. And then when I'm promoting, because I need a guest for Story Species, Story Medicine, I feel the best way to promote is right here on Story Species, Story Medicine. So let me know what you think about that. If you're looking for ways to get involved, being a Dragon Visionary is definitely one way to do that. If you're interested in helping to collaborate with me to transform my content into mini movies, if you want to make bigger, longer movies, if you want to take the mini ones and transform them, or you just want to like reach out to me. I'm really open, and I'm working with Pole Energy. So check out my links, and I look forward to dreaming with you. Okay, Dragon Dreamers, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time. I'll be live tomorrow 1:30. So if any questions come up throughout the night, write them down, and then tomorrow we can chat about it. Or you can email me, Gina Virginia Casella at gmail.com. Okay, I'm excited about falling consciously. I'm still processing, like, how did Promise of Spring, like, that happened? And then, summer days, it happened, it's over. Like, what? It's mid-July. Like, what? So this business of sea turtle energy, like, keep going strong, Dreamers. Like things are making sense now. This summer is really flying by. Like, we're supposed to, like, whatever you're trying to do this fall, act like it's fall right now. And I can appreciate why now, because time is zipping by, or it's too hot and the timelessness factor sets in, right? So take care of yourselves, stay hydrated, and make sure that you believe in yourself, because Hey Dragon Dreamers, Gina Virginia Casella here, the one behind the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective. Come dream with us. Your soul tribe awaits you. I do all kinds of things: gemstone readings, mind reprogramming, energy medicine. At this time in my life, I've been redirected by Source to bring us together. The Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective, through an umbrella term called Project 30, Isis Unity Consciousness. You're invited. Dream with us. Through dreams, half remembered and half misunderstood, we fill in the gaps for each other, because we're all one. There's all kinds of times and dates lined up that I would absolutely adore for you to be a part of. One of my favorite things to do is to assert that the Akashic records are not a permanent record, because your past never defines you. And we can do what's called living consciously, so we can die consciously. United are we. Be free. Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective awaits you. Dream with us. My name is Gina Virginia Casella, creator and visionary of Project 30, Isis Unity Consciousness. See you in dreams.